Conjugates. So conjugate of a complex number, if written in the form a plus bi, is a minus bi. The terms are the same, but the operator is opposite. Instead of plus, the conjugate would be minus. So examples of this are, if you look here, you have negative 3 plus 7i. The conjugate of that would be negative 3 minus 7i. If it was 14 minus 5i, the conjugate would be 14 plus 5i. And if it was just the bi portion, it would be like 8i. The conjugate would be negative 8i. And we can multiply these together, and it's interesting what occurs. So let's say, what was that example again? Negative 3i plus negative 3 plus 7i. So let's say we're going to multiply negative 3 plus 7i by its conjugate, negative 3 minus 7i. So using, let's use FOIL this time. I haven't used that recently. So using FOIL, we'd multiply the negative 3 by this negative 3, and we would get 9, right? And then you'd multiply the outer terms, negative 3 times this negative 7i. Negative 3 times negative 7 would make for plus 21i. And then the inner portion here would be 7i times negative 3, so minus 21i. And so note what's happening here. These two terms are opposites, or they're called additive inverses. If we add them together, they equal 0. So those two middle terms will go away. This will always happen with conjugates. 7i times negative 7i last is negative 49i squared. So these two terms in the middle are gone when we add them together. So now we would just have the 9 minus 49i squared, and I squared is negative 1. And this results in 9 plus 49, or just the number 50. So note that what it says here, the product of a complex number and its conjugate is a real number. And we got to the end here, we ended up with a real number solution, which is the number 50. That other example, what was it? Negative 8i and its conjugate, negative 8i. If we were to multiply 8i times negative 8i, 8 times the negative 8 would give us negative 64. I times I squared. And now we'd have negative 64 times negative 1, because I squared is negative 1. And so positive 64, which is a real number, is our solution for that.